cold. My house is freezing. I don't know why. I have the heat on. I ain't felt nothing yet. I thought I left the cold behind, y'all. I really did. Hi, you guys. I'm Cimonealise. Welcome to my good night stream. 1 second, because my phone's been tweaking. Jesus, I have a weighted blanket on. Trying to make sure there's no interruptions to the sound and whatnot, because that's something y'all talk to me about like every single day. It's like the sound, the sound, the sound. Hey, how's it going? Did you make it to the good morning stream? If you didn't, welcome to the good night stream. This is where we wrap up the day, if you will. I just ran upstairs and my thighs hurt. Don't ask me why, but they sore for positive reasons. Okay, so going up and downstairs have been a task. And I just ran downstairs. I was like, my lips are chapped. I can't get on the stream with chapped lips. Can't do that. Can't do that. So I got my handy dandy Vaseline, but the one that I really wanted was my Laneige dupe, or Laneige dupe, whatever you fancy people like to call it. The thick one is in my car, and I can't use it right now. So I got my good old lucky trusty Vaseline, the pink one. This one, nice. Does not leave a white cast. And then on my hands, which y'all saw me using, was a balm, B-A-L-M, for your hands. It's thicker than lotion, but it's quite moisturizing. It's not like greasy, but it feels good. It feels nice. It's like, yeah. But yeah, let me introduce myself. My name's Cimonealise. You can call me Cece, C-I-C-I. I stream daily on beauty, self-care, and more. But tonight, I felt like I had a hair tie nearby. I guess not. Anyways, this morning was a silent stream. I decided, yeah, I didn't want to talk this morning. I only have 4 hours of sleep. I didn't go to bed. I went to bed like at 1 o'clock in the morning last night. And then I got up at 4 a.m. just to stream for you at 5 a.m. So there's that. And here we are now at 10 o'clock p.m. Going to do our good night stream together. Now I feel like chatting. And then we'll dive into our wind down routine of reading, then writing, and then we go away until the next day. And we focus on what we need to focus on. You follow me? And I'm actually really happy that I read what we're going to be reading tonight together this morning, because I just want to be able to like really understand what I'm reading before I read it to you. Because like I feel really good about the book selection I have right now for us. Today is December 2nd. God is always listening. I'm gonna just let you know that right now. He's always listening. Because there were some things that happened today where it's just like, you know what? Only you heard me, because I didn't even say it out loud, you know? Like moments like that. And I'm just like grateful to be your child, sir. Thank you for being my dad. Thank you for being my daddy. Love you, sir. Love you very much. Because only he loved me. Don't nobody love me like my father do. I'll tell you that one. Today was a great day. It was a tough one. I went to work, and then as soon as I got off work, I went straight into dashing. That was different. That was a time. I thought I made $100. I only made like 70 bucks. I was outside for like 5 hours. That life's tough sometimes, you know? But you know what happened at the end of that day? I got some blessings on the line. God saw my efforts. And he's like, you know what? I can see you too scared to say these words. I'm going to have them say it for you. And then, I know it sounds like a little bit random, but yeah, basically what I'm saying is like my thoughts was unfolded into reality today, and it was such a blessing. But that's neither here nor there. Why do I even do a good night stream? Why? Let me tell you. I do a good night stream because I think it's really important to have like a example of what a routine can be that's not pre-recorded. Someone who's going to go through it with you, someone who wants to do it with you, and you can take your time. And this is just my example of what I do for a good night routine. And also too, it helps me stay accountable to myself that like, did you read before you went to sleep? Did you, or just mindlessly scroll? Did you actually write down your thoughts, your dreams, your wonders? Like, you can't just, like, the day will escape you. And if you can do something like really positive for yourself, I think it's really important to try. So, this is me trying. Ooh. Clearly, I need to charge my phone. My phone is always like needing to charge on my stream. It is what it is. I do vertical lives because it's what YouTube prefers. I try to do it from my computer. It was a mess. But here we are in my bed. Do y'all remember the Amanda show? How she used to read all the letters and stuff from her bed? Like, I feel like those vibes are, I'm like, yeah, let's do it from my bed. You know, everybody's probably in bed right now anyways. This is what I'm doing in my bed. My nice, beautiful bed that I'm planning to decorate more. Like, I'm going to put some nice sheer sheets, and you'll see the vibes. To be continued. I'm just grateful to have this big, beautiful bed. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. And then change the linens, but like these are the colors that I like. They go with my mind. They go with my mental. But anyways, let's get into it. Like this live if you like it. Share it if you care. Subscribe if it's a vibe. And if you're new here, leave your name in the chat below in all caps so I can see it, because I can't see. But I don't want to keep saying that because, you know, words are powerful. I can see. It's just fairly challenging. Fairly challenging. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to read tonight. So first things first, we're going to read, oh, fudge. Our Winner's Creed. I'm like, where'd you go, bud? Our Winner's Creed. We're going to read our Winner's Creed together. This is a weighted blanket. That's why I won't let it go, because it feels like a hug. This is like a 12-pound weighted blanket. Got it for 20 bucks at Target. And I don't regret it. I think I've gone through like 4 or 5 different weighted blankets. My favorite ones are like the 30-pound ones, because it just feels like a nice consenting hug that doesn't let go or ask you questions. Stupid ones. Stupid ones. Anyways, a Winner's Creed. You ready? You ready? A Winner's Creed. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world, we find success begins with a person's fate. Life, it's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster hand. They go to the one who trusts in God and always thinks, I can. Okay? Cool. Author unknown. That's what it says. So we don't even know who wrote this. But I love it. I read it every day. I love it and I read it every day. Okay, now we're going to get into our daily devotional. This is for confident women. 75% of my subscribers are men. I don't know how that happened, but 25% are women. So this is for us ladies. I'm very happy to say I have 3,100 plus subscribers that I gained this year. Thank you to each and every one of you. Gratitude, attitude. So happy to have you here in the most peaceful place on YouTube. My little corner, if you will. And let's get into keeping a positive mindset. Today is December 2nd. Now, I already read this morning, but we're going to read it together. December 2nd is about giving thanks. We should not tempt the Lord. try his patience, become trial to him, critically appraise him, and exploit his goodness as some kind of them did, as some of them did, and were killed by poisonous serpents, or discontently complain as one of, ooh, hold on. I feel like I'm reading the wrong lines sometimes. So I have to cheat and use a piece of paper sometimes so I can stay on track. So forgive me. We should not tempt the Lord, try his patience, become a trial to him, critically appraise him and exploit his goodness. As some of them did, and were killed by poisonous serpents, or discontently complained, as one of them did, and were put out of the way entirely by the dangerous. Oh, by the destroyer. Yeah, there we go. And were put out of the way entirely by the destroyer, death. Okay? 1 Corinthians 10:9-10. That's the scripture. It's just an excerpt from the Bible, so if you don't really understand it, that's okay. I don't really understand these scriptures sometimes. So that's why I look forward to seeing what the reflection is that comes afterwards, so that way I can actually really okay. Because I never want to be a person who just mindlessly just quote things and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Pardon me. God's still working on me. But I just don't want to be that person who just, I'm just sharing it because I think it's the right thing to do. I'm sharing it because I do think it's the right thing to do, but I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. So, like I said, I look forward to the reflection so that way I can get a better understanding, and I hope you can get a better understanding. What I really want you to get from these lives is that it's impactful, useful, and well needed, if you will. Just something that's good. I just want to put out something peaceful in the world, something helpful, useful, and impactful. That's the three. Okay. Every time something didn't go right for the Israelites in the wilderness, they complained, criticized, tried God's patience, and exploited his goodness. When we don't open our mouths and give thanks, but instead complain and murmur, we are exploiting the goodness of God, because no matter what is going on in our lives, God is still good. I'm not trying to say that if we complain about something, God is going to cause us to perish. But how many doors do we open for the devil in our lives through murmuring? How many times do we ask God to give us something, and after he gives it to us, we start complaining because we have to take care of it? Okay? This kind of wilderness mentality keeps us living in the wilderness when we could be living in the promised land. In Philippians 2:14, we are told to do all things without complaining. That means everything. We can accomplish anything and always be a winner as long as we have a godly attitude and exercise control over our mouth daily. Like I just said, God's working on me in my mouth. But yeah, I think that reflection helps explain that scripture a lot better. So basically, and I actually read this story. Basically, when Moses got all the peoples, if you will, respectfully, um, when he saved, what are they called? When not Jesus, when Moses got the Israelites out of Egypt, he's like, let my people go. We all know that story. So he's like, let my people go, blah, 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 They gone. Now they've been on this journey for over 40 years because God, if you read it, God was trying to weed out the poison. He was like, everybody can't go to the promised land. He's like, he literally waited generations for a certain mindset within the Israelites, if you will, to fade out naturally before people made it to the promised land. Everyone couldn't make it there because they would have brought with them their attitudes and dispositions, and that could not be happening, right? Unbeknownst to them, that's what's happening, right? But even along the way, they're complaining about their now newfound worries, if you will, versus remembering what their real concerns and issues and circumstances was at one point. Like being a slave, Crazy work. So they're like, ah, it's hot, ah, it's cold. But literally every day and every night, at night, God will have a pillar of fire leading the way, and every day he had a giant cloud covering them in the sky for shade and like comfort. Like now, perfect conditions. What is perfect? When you were just a slave. You know what I mean? So he's saying these people were complaining the whole time. And like rather than focusing on what's good and what's happening and giving thanks for God being there for them, they like there was people out there murmuring, talking underneath their breath, talking out the side of their neck, like just doing what they do. So don't be that person. Like he just said, what's it called? Hold on, where we go? We accomplish anything. Oh, which part is it? It says, how many times do we ask God to give us something? Freedom, right? Some people want freedom. And then they start complaining because they have to take care of it. How many times have you asked your parents for something and then you turn around, you're upset because you wanted a dog so bad, now you gotta pick up his shit? Like you can't have both. Do you like you can't like you're gonna have to, there's gonna be some responsibilities. Period. Anyways, Lord, I say with all my heart, you are good and your mercies are new every morning. Keep me from a wilderness mentality and complaining about what is going on in my life. Amen. Lord, I say with all my heart that you are good and your mercies are new every morning. Keep me from a wilderness mentality and complaining about what is going on in my life. Amen. One more time. Lord, I say with all my heart that you are good and your mercies are new every morning. Keep me from a wilderness mentality and complaining about what's going on in my life. Amen. I'm gonna give you another example, right? Today, this woman came up to me, because y'all know like I do like front desk work, whatever. And this woman came up to me and basically she was like, how are you doing today? I said, oh, I'm happy. And she's like, you're happy? I said, yeah, I'm happy. I can't complain. She's like, on a Monday? I was like, yeah, it's like a mini New Year. You get to start the week over, start fresh. I love it. I love Mondays. And she was like, well, I gotta cancel my appointment. I was like, what's going on? How can I help? I have a brain tumor. I said, oh. So I have to go into surgery. It's time to remove it. And I have to cancel my appointment. I was just like, not actively walking around with a brain tumor. Like, do you know how crazy that is to hear? After I just said I'm happy, and then like this person shared to me like this is something beyond, I don't want to call it devastating, but like beyond expected to be heard on this Monday morning. You know what I mean? And when she walked away from me, I prayed for her. I prayed for the surgeons who were going to lay hands upon her. I prayed for the strength of her family and her mind, and just because you really don't know what's going on, and you could be like, man, I'm fucking hungry. Bitch, she has a tumor. Like you know what I mean? Like perspective. Like things aren't always as bad as they seem because somebody else really is something. Like my biggest gripes right now is like, oh, my finances. Okay, cool. But ultimately, God keeps helping me and covering me, even when I feel uncertain. I love that my problem are my finances, like respectfully, right? Like good problem to have. Cause like the next person quite literally is dealing with something life and death, like that money cannot fix to an extent, right? Like you can't necessarily buy health. You can just hope. You can hope procedures work. You can hope practices help. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, life is wonders. Life is filled with wonders. It was a reality check for me. Let's get into it. Sometimes you gotta pray for people when they're not around because you know some people act weird about that. Like, anyways, we're on chapter 2. Yay! We're on chapter 2 of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay. This is crazy. Every time I see this picture, hold on, where is it? I feel like you guys seen this picture before. I see a beautiful woman right? But I guess people usually see this one. Where'd it go? I just had it. But this is the one people usually see as like the older maiden. But even like from afar, I can still see like the woman's silhouette, you know? But then it's like, because like to me, this is her neckline. These are her necklaces. This is her hair, blah, blah, blah. In her ear. But this is actually an eye. This is a nose. That's crazy what perspective can do once you have exposure. Okay. The 7 habits overview. We're on excerpt hearts. We're on the excerpt that says habits defined. Page 55, chapter 2. As proud of us, honey. We're making our way through the book. You ready? Are you ready? Okay. Habits defined. For our purposes, we will define a habit as This one is good. Listen, I read this morning. Like, actually listen. You're going to find out something about yourself. 1,000%. Like, I know sometimes people be like, you need to read this. Honestly, just reading this section, mind-blowing for someone who's like, yeah. Okay, listen. Habits defined. For our purposes, we will define a habit as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge is a theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. Skill is how to do, and desire is the motivation and the want to do. In order to make something a habit in our lives, we have to have all 3. We just gotta have all 3. Okay? I may be ineffective in my interactions with my work associates, my spouse, or my children because I constantly tell them what I think. But I never really listen to them unless I search out correct principles of human interaction. I may not even know I need to listen. Okay, this is not it yet. Okay, but it's getting there. Even if I do know that in order to interact effectively with others, I really need to listen to them. I may not have the skill, I may not know how to really listen deeply to another human being, but knowing I need to listen and knowing how to listen is not enough unless I want to listen. We're still not there yet, by the way. Unless I have the desire, it won't be a habit in my life. Creating a habit requires work in all 3 dimensions. The being, seeing, change is a upward process. Being, changing, seeing, which is in turn changes being. I know that sounded weird. The being, seeing, change is an upward process. Being, changing, seeing, which is in turn changes being, and so forth. As we move in an upward spiral of growth by working on knowledge, by the way, I'm reading this without my glasses, which I so desperately need. And my knee hurt. My knee. Okay, there we go. Trying to keep my feet warm. In turn, changes being and so forth. As we move in an upward spiral of growth by working on knowledge, skill, and desire, we can break through to new levels of personal and interpersonal effectiveness as we break with old paradigms that may have been a source of pseudo-security for years. It's sometimes a painful process. It's a change that has to be motivated by a higher purpose, by the willingness to subordinate what you think you want now for what you want later. Okay, we're talking about shifting the mindset. Okay, we're almost the part I really want to see here. We're getting closer. Process, procedures, happiness. The object and design of our existence. Happiness can be defined in part as, at least as the fruit of desire and ability to sacrifice what we want now for what we want eventually. Okay, and we kind of talked about this What's it called again? You know what I'm talking about. I think the word is on here. Oh my gosh, I know the word is in my head, but you know what I'm talking about. This thing, the circles, okay? In the middle is habits, up top is knowledge, the what to and why to, desire is the want to, and skills are how to, okay? I feel like it starts with a P. What is escaping me? Why is it escaping me, you guys? Effective habits, internalized principles, patterns of behavior. It's gonna come to me. Anyways, the maturity continuum. Are you ready? This is the part you need to read to your mom, your brother, your friend, your dad, your uncle. And if you don't read it to them, you need to apply this to your life so you can have peace of mind. This excerpt alone is so impactful. Please listen. I'm going to read it slowly so you can really understand it. Because, baby, I still have to grow. But hey, listen, okay. The maturity continuum. The 7 habits are not a set of separate or piecemeal psyop formulas. In harmony with the natural laws of growth, they provide an incremental, sequential, highly integrated approach to the development of personal and interpersonal effectiveness. They move us progressively on a maturity continuum from dependence to independence to interdependence. We each begin life as an infant, totally dependent on others. We are directed, nurtured, and sustained by others. Without this nurturing, we would only live for a few hours or a few days at the most. Humans, only talking about humans. Then gradually, over the ensuing months and years, we become, we become more and more independent, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, until eventually we can essentially take care of ourselves, becoming inner directed and self-reliant. Keep listening. As we continue to grow and mature, we become increasingly aware that all of nature is interdependent, that there is an ecological system that governs nature, including society. We further discover that the higher reaches of our nature have to do with our relationships with others, that human life also is interdependent. Okay? Our growth from infancy to adulthood is in accordance with natural law, and there are many dimensions to growth. Reaching our full physical maturity, for example, does not necessarily assure us of simultaneous emotional or mental maturity. I'm going to repeat that last part one more time because I don't think you're listening. Okay? And there are many dimensions to growth. Reaching our full physical maturity, for example, does not necessarily assure of simultaneous emotional or mental maturity. On the other hand, a person's physical dependence does not mean that he or she is mentally or emotionally immature. Or the maturity continuum dependence is the paradigm of you take care of me. On the maturity continuum, dependence is the paradigm of you. That's the paradigm of you. You take care of me. You come through for me. You didn't come through. I blame you for the results. And do you understand that? I'm gonna read that one more time. That one is crazy to me. Because some people don't think some people really don't think they're dependent on others. And you need to check yourself. Because sometimes you are dependent on others, grown or not. I don't care if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You can still be dependent on people. Like, on the maturity continuum, dependence is the paradigm of you. You take care of me. You come through for me. You didn't come through for me. I blame you for the results. Do you know how only children are allowed to do that? Quite literally, only children should be able to do that. That is the only time that behavior is excusable. Only time. Independence is the paradigm of I. I can do it. I am responsible. I am self-reliant. I can choose. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Interdependence is the paradigm of we. We can do it. We can cooperate. We can combine our talents and abilities and create something greater together. Okay? Okay? Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own effort. Interdependent people combine their own efforts with efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. So, even being independent is not enough. You still have to be able to cooperate with others to reach the greatest levels of success. No successful company, a CEO is nothing without a structure beneath it or with it. Not even call it beneath it. A CEO is nothing without a structure of like a system supporting it. Right? People have to participate in your dream for it to be true. Yes, you can do a lot on your own, but at certain times you're going to need people. You're going to need mailmen. You're going to need people, assistants. You're going to need people who are working in your warehouses or people who are helping make the logistics go and flow, program managers. You're going to need people to make your things, your thoughts, your visions to be true. You cannot do it all on your own. You could do a lot on your own, but you cannot do it all on your own. Okay? Okay. Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own effort. Interdependent people continue their own efforts with the efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. If I were physically dependent, paralyzed or disabled or limited in some physical way, I would need you to help me, right? If I were emotionally dependent, my sense of worth and security would come from your opinion of me. If you didn't like me, it would be devastating. If I were intellectually dependent, I would count on you to do my thinking for me, to think through the issues and problems of my life. If I were independent physically, I could pretty well make it on my own. Mentally, I could think my own thoughts. I could move from one level of abstraction to another. I could think creatively and analytically and organize and express my thoughts in understandable ways. Emotionally, I would be hold up. Emotionally, I would be validated from within. I would be inner directed. My sense of worth would not be a function of being liked or treated well. It's easy to see that independence is much more mature than, I don't know why, this just gives me like, I love this part. Much more mature than dependence. Independence is a major achievement in and of itself. But independence is not supreme. Okay? Check yourself if you think like, oh, well, I'm independent. Okay, you still got growing to do. And that's what I learned about myself. Like, I've been a person who's like, I can do it on my own. I don't need people. I do need people to a point. To a point. Okay? I'm not dependent. I am pretty independent, but also recognize that things can be done greater with others, right? But I didn't understand to what degree until I actually read this excerpt this morning. And I was just like, okay. Nevertheless, the current social paradigm enthrones independence. It is the arrowed goal of many individuals in social movements. Most of the self improvement material puts independence on a pedestal as though communication, teamwork, and cooperation were lesser values. I fell into that. But much of our current emphasis on independence is a to reaction to dependence, to having others control us, define us, and use us and manipulate us. The little understood concept of interdependence appears to many to smack of the little understood concept of interdependence appears to many to smack of dependence, and therefore we find people often for selfish reasons, leaving their marriages, abandoning their children, and forsaking all kinds of social responsibility, all in the name of independence. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm still reading it. Okay. The little understood concept of interdependence appears too many to smack dependence, and therefore we find people often, for selfish reasons, leaving their marriages, abandoning their children, and forsaking all kinds of social responsibility, all in the name of independence. The kind of reaction that results in people throwing off their shackles, becoming liberated, asserting themselves, and doing their own thing. Others often reveal more fundamental dependencies that cannot be run away from because they are internal rather than external. Dependencies such as letting the weaknesses of other people ruin our emotional lives or feeling victimized by people and events out of our control. Of course, we may need to change our circumstances, but the dependence problem is a personal maturity sense that has little to do with circumstances. Even with better circumstances, immaturity and dependence often persist. True independence and character empowers us to act rather than be acted upon. I have to like literally rub my eyes sometimes to get the juices flowing so I can see. It frees us from our dependence on circumstances and other people, and is a worthy circumstances of other people and is a worthy liberating goal. But it is not the ultimate goal in effective living. Independent thinking alone is not suited or interdependent suiting sorry. Independent thinking alone is not suited to interdependence reality. Independent people who do not have the maturity to think and act independently may be good individual producers, but not. Oh, so sorry, y'all. This is where I say I do struggle with reading sometimes, but I don't let that stop me. I'm gonna keep it going. They're not coming from the paradigm of interdependence necessary to succeed in marriage, family, or organizational reality. Life is by nature highly interdependent. To try to achieve maturity or to try to achieve maximum effectiveness through independence is like trying to play tennis with golf clubs. The tool is not suited to the reality. Interdependence is far more mature, more advanced concept. If I am physically interdependent, I am self-reliant and capable, but I also realize that you and I working together can accomplish far more than ever at my best, than even at my best. I can accomplish alone. If I am emotionally interdependent, I derive a great sense of worth within myself. But I also recognize the need for love, for giving, and for receiving love from others. If I am intellectually interdependent, I realize that I need the best thinking or other people to join with my own. The best thinking or other people to join with my own. As an interdependent person, I have the opportunity to share myself deeply, meaningfully with others, and I have access to the vast resources and potential of other human beings. Okay, you listening? Interdependent is a choice only independent people can make. Dependent people cannot choose to become interdependent. They don't have the character to do it. They don't own enough or they don't own enough of themselves. They don't dependent people don't own enough of themselves. You know how crazy that sounds? That's why habits 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're gonna pause there. Okay? I just want you to hear that. 3 things. If you want to take away from this reading tonight. You're either dependent, meaning your life is based on others 100%. Like you take no accountability or responsibility for the outcomes of your own day, life, or adventures. Or you can be independent where you take full accountability of your life, your day, and your adventures, but you feel like you don't need people. And then you can be interdependent where you can still take full accountability of your life, your day, and your adventures, but you're willing to collaborate with others and don't see it as a weakness to collaborate. You see it as a strength and a want, a yearning, if you will. So you're either one of the 3. And assess the people around you accordingly. Because being around dependent people, if they're not children, it's dangerous. And like they said, dependent is not only financially. All right, y'all. Let's get into the end of our stream because it is now 10:43 and we need to do our journaling. Okay? I journal every day. I journal every night. I've been in my new place for almost 2 months and I'm on my 2nd notebook for journaling. That's because I want a different outcome in my life. Journaling has been something I've done on and off, but I've never been so consistent about it that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this with my chat. Chat, grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your thoughts. Let's do this together. Get your cute pen. You can do it pink. You can do it black. I like black. I love black. It's my thing. You'll find out why one day. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let's journal and then go to bed because we got work to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That long weekend threw me off, yo. That long weekend. I journaled. That was nice. Okay. Battery's running low. What's new? I'm gonna get it together for you guys. But thank you, thank you, thank you. It is now 10:52. We spent a good chunk of time together. I hope you got your journaling in. Don't stop on the count of me. If you just started, I hope to see you tomorrow morning at the Good Morning stream where we are going to do this again. It's going to be reading, writing, and off to a good day. Okay? Let's do this together forever. Okay? So until next time, thank you for hanging out with me. And okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Like this live if you like it. Share it if you care. Subscribe if it was a vibe. And donate if you want to see some changes. Until next time. Bye, baby. I love you. Mwah. I see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.